Hello, and welcome to our lesson on identifying project risks. This segment will cover defining and documenting risks. Part 1. In the process of identifying risks through various techniques, it is crucial to maintain a clear and unambiguous understanding during the description and documentation of individual project risks. Consistency in the format of risk statements is paramount, as it not only streamlines the documentation process, but also facilitates effective analysis and the development of risk responses. This standardized approach ensures that risks are comprehensively assessed and managed throughout the project lifecycle. It is noteworthy that all pertinent information pertaining to identified risks is meticulously recorded in the risk register. This includes the designation of risk owners, a task that may initially occur during the Identify Risks process and is subsequently confirmed in the Perform Qualitative Risk Analysis process. Furthermore, initial risk responses are outlined and documented, subject to further scrutiny and confirmation within the Plan Risk Responses process. The remaining details concerning identified risks will be systematically gathered and documented during subsequent risk management processes. This holistic and phased approach to risk identification and management not only enhances the project team's ability to proactively address uncertainties, but also establishes a foundation for informed decision-making and successful project outcomes. A risk statement is a concise and clear articulation of a potential risk in a project or any other context. It typically includes information about the event or condition that may occur, the potential consequences or impact if the risk materializes, and sometimes the underlying causes or triggers. The purpose of a risk statement is to communicate the identified risk in a way that is easily understood by stakeholders, allowing for effective risk analysis, prioritization, and management. A well-crafted risk statement should encompass the following elements: risk event or condition. Clearly describe the specific event or condition that may occur and pose a potential threat or opportunity to the project. Consequences or impact. Outline the potential outcomes or consequences that could result if the risk event occurs. This includes both positive and negative impacts on project objectives such as schedule, cost, quality, scope, and other relevant factors. Context and scope. Provide context by specifying the project or organizational scope to which the risk pertains. This helps stakeholders understand the relevance and potential magnitude of the risk. Timing and triggers. Indicate when the risk might occur and the circumstances or triggers that could lead to its realization. This information aids in proactive monitoring and response planning. For example, a risk statement might be formulated as follows. There is a risk that during the construction phase of the project, adverse weather conditions, such as heavy rainfall, could cause delays in the delivery of construction materials. If this risk materializes, it may lead to a potential schedule overrun of 2 weeks, impacting the overall project timeline and potentially increasing costs due to extended labor and equipment rentals. A well-constructed risk statement is a fundamental component of effective risk management, providing a basis for informed decision-making and facilitating communication among project stakeholders. Here are some examples for well-defined risk statements. Example for a risk impacting the schedule would be: the delay in obtaining regulatory approvals for the new product launch may impact the project timeline, potentially resulting in increased costs and missed market opportunities. The risk is rooted in uncertainties surrounding the regulatory process and potential changes in requirements during the approval phase, which may adversely affect project progress and financial outcomes. Example for a risk impacting budget would be the lack of clarity in contractual obligations with key suppliers may impact the project budget, potentially leading to cost overruns and compromised deliverables. This risk is rooted in uncertainties surrounding supplier commitments, pricing fluctuations, and unforeseen changes in project scope, which may adversely affect the project's financial outcomes and overall success. Example for a risk impacting the scope would be the absence of a robust change control process may impact project scope by allowing uncontrolled modifications to project requirements, leading to potential scope creep, timeline delays, and increased resource utilization. This risk is rooted in inadequate change management procedures, potential miscommunications among project stakeholders, and a lack of mechanisms to evaluate and prioritize scope changes, all of which may adversely affect project progress and compromise the achievement of project goals. This is the end of this segment of our lesson. In the next segment, we shall discuss defining and documenting risks. Part 2. This course is presented to you by South Europe College. Thank you for listening, and see you on our next segment.